Welcome in. My name is Jake Lippman, and this is the Behind the Cage Door podcast, episode 12 of the fighter interview series with 1-0 undefeated pro fighter Riley Palmer. Now, Riley fights for the CFFC, and he's quickly making a name for himself in the Bantamweight division. But before we get started, a few notes. First, Matchmaker Monday for UFC 290 will be releasing tomorrow on Monday, first thing in the morning. So make sure you go check it out. There's going to be a special guest, and we're going to be talking about the fights and some future matchups we'd like to see, and I'm super excited for that. So make sure you go check it out. In addition, this podcast is brought to you by Cold Water Plasma and Good State Health Solutions. Do you want to keep your body in a good state of health? Well, don't worry. We've got the solutions for you. This is my favorite product, this Cold Water Plasma. I like to drink this bad boy before the morning. It'd also be great before you go to the gym. But they also have some awesome supplements. Some nice guys here. Using some nutrient deficiency testings with a hair sample, they can make the exact solution that you need. So go ahead, check the link down below. If you use my code JAKE15, you'll get 15% off your first order. They have some awesome products. Their social media will also be down below. So make sure you connect with Cold Water Plasma. Make sure you connect with Behind the Cage Door. And go ahead and enjoy this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back, fight fans. Today I've got Riley Palmer here with us. Riley, how we doing?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling good. I've recently had like a little minor surgery, but I'm feeling great, man. Already starting to get back in the gym. Yeah, I'm ready for whatever comes next.
That's awesome. We know when we're looking to make that return.
So originally I wanted to try and make it go September, like early September, because I know they're having a card like back up in my area. But like the doctors and my coaches don't think that's the best idea. They want me to have time to have a full camp because I'd be healed, but I wouldn't have a full camp. So I'll probably make it happen October, like early October.
Hey, that's perfect. Get one right in before the end of the year, and then before you know it, turn around quarter 1 next year and get another fight going.
Well, I would hope. I don't know if this is true, but I think they're having a card in AC in December as well. So if all goes well and I'm healthy after this next fight, because that's the main priority is my health and making sure I win this next fight. But I would love to ideally get on that AC card. I've always wanted to fight there too. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So for those of you watching at home that might not know Riley, and we had a little location switch because of some connection problems, but Riley's 1-0 as a pro. And unlike the connection, he's been perfect so far in his career. He won an amateur belt for the CFFC, and that pro fight also came in the CFFC. And what he's talking about is those Atlantic City Hard Rock shows that they put on. Crazy shows, awesome experiences. The last one was a sold-out crowd. It was loud and a fun place for everybody to be. And so that show at the end of the year would definitely be an awesome place for you to make another pro fight. But let's talk back on that first one at the 2300 arena, another really loud, fun environment. Tell me a little bit about your experience there.
I fought there, I believe, a total of 3 times now. So as an amateur, I was there as well. And that's like right in my neck of the woods. My old gym that I was training at was maybe 10, 15 minutes from there. And like my hometown is maybe 30 minutes down the road. So that's basically hometown for me. So it's kind of awesome to see that much support and everyone kind of rally with me and show out. But as far as the fight goes, like everything was great. Like I went into the fight, didn't really have like many nerves before the fight. I think that I just felt confident in my ability. Like it was great and all. I feel like I don't really like that. That doesn't really sink in until like everything doesn't sink in, the atmosphere and all that until like I get done the fight. And now I'm seeing everybody. I kind of close off from everything. Don't like to check my phone, none of that. Like I go dark until after the fight.
Lock in, get in that zone. And I mean,
Yeah.
For you, bro, I mean, that crowd was loud. I mean, I don't know how you lock that out. I mean, you were hearing Riley. I mean, there were hundreds of people there rooting for you. I mean, how much does that support mean for you?
I mean, it means the world to me, man. But I'm no stranger to big crowds. Like I was a big wrestler my entire life. I used to travel all around the country to wrestle. We traveled with some of the best kids in the country. So like, I've the crowd doesn't really affect me. Like it is a little bit different to have it so one-sided and swayed in one direction. Like so like usually I don't hear anything, but I'd be lying if I say I don't catch some of the chants that they put out there.
Oh yeah, and,
And
throughout that fight, I mean, it felt like as the fight got on, you were getting more and more comfortable. You were asserting your wrestling, your jujitsu more and more. And when it was standing too, you looked pretty good on the feet. So I mean, I definitely feel like that might have not to diminish your true talent, but I think that that crowd, that atmosphere, definitely brought the best out in you.
I thought it brought the okay, so that's where we disagree a little bit. I feel like I got like right before I went out, like I literally like I mean everyone says like you don't have a game plan until you get hit in the face, right? So like I literally like it was just blank up top. Like I wasn't thinking. I was just calm, collected, didn't really know where the fight was going to go. I knew that if it came to any grappling, I had it in the bag. I wanted to strike a little bit more. That's the only reason I disagree with you, because like even in the back, man, I was only working combinations on the feet, like very minimal wrestling stuff. And then like I just saw him throw deep. It was like a slow recoil. So the next time he went to kick me, I just got the leg, and then I knew it was done from there.
And I guess that's where we will agree with each other. I think your talents did show, and I think although you might have wanted to strike more, I think the fact that you were able to read and make those adjustments and put the fight where you were in a dominant position, I think that just speaks to the talent level you have. And I think moving forward, that's only going to play into your favor that you haven't shown all your striking, because now your opponents, they might not know exactly what they're going to
Yeah,
see.
they're gonna be pairing for a wrestler. So yeah, I mean everyone's gonna be in trouble, man.
Oh yeah,
Everyone's
and
gonna be in trouble.
oh yeah, and you were a great wrestler up in New Jersey. I actually a little earlier today I was on YouTube scrolling through, and there was one video where you pinned a kid in about a minute. A high level wrestler, and you did it on a high level circuit as well. I mean, the talent there, not only in just New Jersey, but as you said, you traveled all around the world. It's a high level of competition, and you are built for this. But now you're training at American Top Team. You moved away from a really good talent hotbed up in New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, and now you're an American Top Team down in Florida. What was that transition like now that you went from high level wrestler to now high level MMA athlete?
The biggest change is like I had good partners at home. Don't get me wrong. I got given the opportunity to come out here. I came and checked it out, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I have love for all my old coaches and teammates back home. If they ever need something, I'm a call away. But the biggest like change was just like the volume of good talent in that gym. Like every round that you have, you're fighting for your life out there, man. Like it's not going to be a cakewalk with anybody. Like and just the high level coaching and everything, the difference in like the coaching. I feel like I've made so many improvements in such a short amount of time. Uh, I'm just excited, man, to see where this goes. Like the more time I have in between to prepare, that's the worse it's going to be for my opponents.
And that's a scary sight because your opponents have already had trouble with you. You come with that wrestling base, but what do you feel like has been, the biggest evolution in your game since going to American Top Team?
Definitely striking, but a close second is my jiu-jitsu. I feel like I've become like way more like dynamic. I have a lot more tools in my arsenal. Like I'm seeing things like when I'm rolling out there opposed to just scrambling and rolling around. Because like I used to be in that wrestling mentality where it's just constantly moving. Now I'm slowing down the positions. I'm finding out where I need to go, controlling. It's the most important thing. So definitely my striking, but a close second has to be the jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir. And again, that first pro fight, you showed those skills, and the improvements are definitely coming, and they're only going to keep showing as you keep going with your career. And so maybe we can do a little name dropping here. Who are some of the guys that you've been working with, and maybe some of the other guys that you might not be working with per se, but you're seeing in the gym day in, day out?
Okay, uh, so I have, as you know, like I haven't been like sparring as much lately, but when I was in the gym, a lot of people like I really like going with is like the kids, Danny Sabatello, Kyoji, Cody Law, Pedro Munez, Adriana Marias. Like I really like going with those guys. There's a few I'm probably leaving out because I'm just trying to think on the spot now. As far as names that like I see in the gym, Jorge Masvidal, Dustin, Gamrot, Grant Dawson. Like that is the coolest thing to me. Like I used to watch these guys like some of these guys growing up. You know what I mean? So like, and they're where I want to be. So
And they're doing it at a high level too. I mean, some of those guys, Grant Dawson, just he was a monster.
dominated that last fight, man. I'm really happy for him.
Oh yeah, and a guy like Danny Sabatello probably also for you. I mean, that he's a great wrestler too. So I mean,
Oh yeah,
against the best.
gives me some problems, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're not used to that either.
Nah. I'm not used to somebody to being able to keep up with my wrestling, but I got to give it to him. He's a great wrestler himself too.
Oh yeah, and so for you with your wrestling base, I mean, how have you translated from the traditional American high school style wrestling to now being an MMA fighter? And everything changes once it's MMA when the strikes are in play. So how have you adjusted to that?
I've adjusted better than I thought I would. The one thing like I really realized is like the biggest difference is I feel like it's a lot easier to get takedowns in MMA than it is in wrestling. You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. When you're wrestling somebody, they know what you're about to do. Now I have a chance to mix it up and feint, fake you out, whatever, before I take you down. Like I think it's a lot easier to wrestle. I just think a lot of guys aren't really, what's the word? They aren't. That's not like the wrestling base is like the best base in MMA because it teaches you so much about grappling. Like if you have like a high level wrestler, they can almost control the fight and they have that like dog in them. They just constantly go. It's a constant pace.
And so how do you prepare yourself for that?
It's just years of training, man. Like I started wrestling in second grade, and those workouts, like from then on out, like I took wrestling very serious. Some of the workouts I've been through, man, it just calluses your mind. Like I feel like I can go through anything. Like I've been through hell, I can be back. Like.
Oh yeah, and you're doing it at bantamweight, which is a division that's going to put you through hell. For you, how do you see yourself stacking up to the competition that's out there?
I think I stack up very well. I think a lot of people are going to underrate my wrestling when I get to that next level. Like, because everyone's like a decent grappler at that next level. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to hang with me. Like I told you before, I'm getting better and better. The more time you give me on a regional circuit, the worse it's gonna be down the line. I'm gonna just keep improving at such a high rate.
So in an ideal world, what does down the line look like for Riley Palmer?
So obviously, first things first, I gotta finish out this contract, see what's up, see where I resign after that. But eventually, I'm gonna get that call from one of the big organizations. I'm hoping PFL, Bellator, UFC. Who's ever gonna pay more? Eventually, my end goal is to be in the UFC and be a UFC champ. But I got to make a name for myself so I can get paid and do this smart. You know what I mean? So,
Oh yeah.
whoever makes that call, I'll answer it. I'll be there. Make my money, make that household name for myself, and then maybe coach later down the road. I don't know.
Build that legacy.
Yeah, build that legacy, man.
And I think that's awesome because really it's just one step at a time. So let's jump to the top of the line. Let me just force you into the deep waters here. Let's talk some UFC here. That's the eventual goal.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw some crazy fights last night. I mean, some short notice replacements, some guys that got the call, accepted it, and had some results. Now, let's think about in the future. We got Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling in that weight class that you fight in. What are we thinking about?
I would love to fight both of them. Honestly, like I think that would be a really cool thing to be able to fight either one of them. I think I would out-grapple O'Malley tenfold. I think I would have to be very wary about his range because he's a very long fighter. What is he? 5'10", 5'11" at 35. Like that's kind of crazy. So you got to be very cautious of that. Now, Aljamain, I would really be interested to see how our grappling matches up against each other. Like I usually don't get bullied in any grappling machines whatsoever, ever. So to see the guy that's like known for his ground game, I'd like to test that out and see where I stand.
I think the scrambles in that matchup
would be. I think it would be fun. It'd be entertaining.
Oh yeah. Now let's hear some predictions. Now those two guys are fighting each other. I don't know if it's going to be a scramble fest, but it's definitely going to be exciting. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm rooting like it. I'm rooting for O'Malley, but I think ultimately Aljamain's going to win. I think Aljamain's teammate though is the best guy at that weight class right
Rob.
now. Yep. And then hold on a sec, dude. I'm on the thing. Sorry about that.
You all good?
I'm sorry, but my favorite guy to watch at that weight class that I think would be a dream fight of mine is Corey Sandhagen. I love watching that guy fight.
Interesting.
Very
Long,
hard to
tall.
read. I think it would give me a lot of issues, but I'm always up for a challenge.
Oh yeah, and I think a fight with Corey Sandhagen, let's say Sean O'Malley, gets that win and is the champion. I think a fight with a guy like Corey Sandhagen would be a great precursor for then the matchup with Sean O'Malley, with that length and that reach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think you can find many guys like that out there.
Yeah.
And so I think that card in Boston, that's going to be a lot of fun, closer to your original neck of the woods. Now, let's think about it. You're hoping for a fight to come up at the end of the year. You're in Florida now. You fought in Jersey before. Where's your ideal place of fighting?
I mean, there's a few places like that I would love to fight someday, but like I honestly don't care. Like, regardless of where I fight, people are going to travel out. And I got to get used to that. I mean, not that I think it's really going to affect me anyway, but not having so many people at my fights and having it so like swayed in my direction. You know what I mean? So I'm down to go to enemy territory and show what I can do as well. Like, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to take whatever's available. So if that happens to be back home, it is what it is. Like I'm trying to be active, but in a perfect world, yeah, I'd like to fight somewhere else still.
And that would be awesome to see, get some different experiences, view some different places in the world that maybe you haven't gone
100%.
to. Is there a matchup that you see that like might be one that you want kind of now in the short term, someone that you think can build that profile that you're looking to get to?
In the CFFC now?
CFFC or maybe on a different regional circuit, whatever you're looking at. Like, is there somebody that you think that you should fight soon to help, maybe get the UFC to notice you?
Well, definitely the champ at the CFFC now. I think I'm already better, to be honest with you. And I'm not trying to sound cocky in any way. I got to respect the guy who's been there for a while or a minute. But I think either at the end of this contract or beginning of my next one, if he's still there at least, I think I'm taking that title.
And that would be awesome to see that championship, that championship vibe, that championship mentality. I think it will go a long way. And a lot of the times, a CFFC guy, if they get the belt, they're on one of those next phone calls, whether it's Dana White Contender Series or a short notice fight. So I think that's a really good place for you to be going and in the near future, because a couple more wins with a nice amateur record, a big wrestling background. I mean, we saw a guy like Bo Nickel have so much success last night. So is that somebody that you're maybe trying to mimic and try and follow to get to the success that he's had so far?
I know from being around like all the high talented people around me, I'm gonna get better, but I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I'm doing this my own way. I'm very unique in my approach and the way I do everything. Like, yeah, I'll pick things from each and every fighter I go with, but I'm not gonna mimic anything other than myself.
And so maybe tell me a little bit about that style you got. Some people they walk out with a mantra, I'm the best, I'm the best. And some people like Robbie Lawler are very calm and mellow. What makes Riley Palmer special and different?
Can you say that one more time?
Like a lot of the times when I think about different personalities in MMA, like I think of, sometimes people come out, like specifically I'm thinking about Rose Namajunas. She came out, I'm the best with that mantra. And then there's guys like Robbie Lawler who are very mellow and calm and they're just embracing the moment. What makes your style special? What makes Riley Palmer the next level, the next generation?
I think my work ethic is unmatched amongst everybody. If you think you're doing more work than me, you're wrong. I think my fights speak for themselves. But I think what makes me special is for one, very talented wrestler. And I'm a very fast winner. Like, that's why I said about my first fight, I was disappointed I wasn't striking more because I have a lot to show you guys. And I think it's just, like I said, it's going to be scary the longer I have it.
And that preparation, especially down in American Top Team with those killers, I mean, that preparation is going to go a long way. And I know I'm for one excited to see that next fight. Now, do you want to spoil any, any tricks that you might be getting? Or is there anything that you might be bringing to the fight that you haven't shown yet that you're like, I need to show?
I won't give away like any of my tricks, but you guys should expect to see some more hands and everything. I've been working my kicks a lot more as well. You won't just see that one-dimensional wrestler. I promise you that.
I love it. And I think the best part is you have that wrestling. You can go and revert back to that wrestling
Exactly.
whenever you want.
Like
And
a
I think
safety.
that's
If
gonna
I
make you
need to,
dangerous.
I'll use it, or if I see an opportunity, I'll use it.
Oh yeah. So for you, what got you to transition from wrestling to MMA?
So I was you want the short answer or long answer?
I want whatever you think is the best answer.
So I was a wrestler my entire life. Had a scholarship for Iowa Central, and when I came home, well, I was always interested in the sport. I'll start with that. Favorite fighter growing up was Frankie Edgar. I watched him and Gray Maynard fight. Fell in love with the sport. Always wanted to do it. Was never allowed to. So then fast forward, I was a wrestler my whole life. Was never like allowed to go into the sport. So when I came home after my first year at Iowa Central, I had all intention of going back and then possibly transferring somewhere. But I did my first BJJ class, started training with people like Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez, Marlon Marias, Lance Palmer. Like I was like, what the hell? This is only my second practice. Like, so I fell in love with it from there, man. Like just being around like those types of people. And then the guy Eddie Alvarez, who's a good friend of mine, he really took me under his wing at first, and he like showed me the ropes. Took me out to Tokyo for his fight for like 9 days or something. That was the coolest experience ever. So like after that, man, like I was hell bent on making a name for myself and getting into it.
And I think ever since you've done it, the support's been there, the success has been there. And I think, a guy like Eddie, he did at the highest level for a long time and really showcased his skills. Is there maybe anything that you've really learned or a moment that, sticks out to you and something that you're going to carry with you throughout your career?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
No, like you're good. I just think with Eddie Alvarez, he did it at the highest level. He competed for a long time and he had such a great career. From those experiences that you've had with him, maybe going to Tokyo, is there any lessons or a memory that sticks out that's going to really bring you through the rest of your career?
I mean, just like the way everything happened, man. Like my whole story is unique because like I came home, I honestly wasn't too focused on like school and stuff like that. Like I wanted to wrestle. I knew I loved to compete. So when I came home, just the way everything happened, man, I went to one practice, get invited to go pro practice. Don't know what I'm getting myself into. It's my second day of jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? I'm a wrestler. And then just literally fast forward a month or two, and then having somebody as high level as Eddie Alvarez calling me, hey man, you're going out to Tokyo with me. Like that's like not many people can say that. Like it almost feels like it was meant to be that I went on this path, you know what I mean? So I think I'll remember everything from my story, man. Like everything I'm gonna carry with me to the end of my career.
And
Like
that's
not many
awesome.
people can say that, man. Like,
And and so you, as a young fighter, were able to look at Eddie and have that as a resource and as some inspiration. What do you want people to remember you by?
want people, that's an interesting question. I want people to remember me for my work ethic. Know that I'm all business all the time. Outside the gym, we can have fun, but when I'm in the gym, it's all business, and I'm gonna outwork you. I'm sorry. Can you say the question again?
No, and I think that was a great answer. I mean, we were just really trying to figure out, what do you want, maybe your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered by? And I think
okay.
that work ethic, I think that's something that, especially with a wrestling background, I think that's something that you need to have to be successful, to push that pace and to find that success. You need to have crazy cardio, you need to have crazy strength, and you need to be completely committed to the craft. You might not get the first or second takedown, but by that third or fourth one, you're going to find where you're going to find your spot. You're going to get them to the ground. I think, that legacy is something that a lot of kids that are wrestling coming up can look to and be like, I can do this as a career as well.
Yeah. Okay, one other thing I would add to that then, other than my work ethic, is just like I'm a gentleman, man. I'm the nicest guy in the gym. Like, yeah, like we might punch each other in the face, but I'll be your best friend after. You know what I mean? So like, I think that goes a long way as well.
So you're a nice guy, obviously. I mean, we've had a great conversation so far. You like to have fun. What is fun for MMA fighter, undefeated MMA athlete Riley Palmer?
Well, to be honest, haven't had much fun when I first started fighting because it was fight after fight after fight. Came down here, what was it, like 6, 7 months of straight training, so didn't really have much fun with that. But like, to be honest with you, going to the gym is the best part of my day. Like, when I get to be around those high level people, that's one of the coolest experiences. So you know what I mean? So like, but outside of fighting in general, I love to hang out with friends, go to the beach, you know what I mean? Maybe crack a few beers open if I have nothing scheduled. But other than that, man, like I'm just focused, man. Hell bent on making a name for myself.
And that name, it's going to come as the success comes. Your name's going to build, and I'm really excited to see that path. Do you want to shout out, your social media and plug yourself out real quick to the fans?
Yeah, so my social media, I use Instagram more so than anything, is Riley Palmer 6, RILEY Palmer 6, and I'm new to Twitter, but here I'll plug that in real fast. Everyone's telling me I got to get on it. They're giving me shit for it. So my Twitter handle is Riley Palmer 66. So just add one more six.
We love the sixes. What's the story behind the number 6?
It is my favorite number growing up. It was it was my lucky number growing up. And then like I was a big like LeBron James fan when he was like his rookie year. Like I was following his career. Then eventually he changed number 6. Big Philly fan, Julius Irving's number 6. Just
Yes,
seems
sir.
like a lot of reasons.
6 is always there. And
Yeah.
so I think that's awesome. I mean, I think the fact that, you've taken inspiration from all sorts of all the facets of life that you've experienced to bring to your career now. So my last question for you is this. What advice can you give to other wrestlers or maybe people watching here that are, maybe not MMA guys just yet, but have that inkling of, I might want to fight MMA? What would you tell them?
I would start by telling them that MMA has made such big changes in my overall life. Like it teaches you discipline, respect, humility. Like that's one of the best things that like I really took from MMA. But if you really want to do something, and like regardless if anybody's really thinks you can do it or not, sometimes, bro, you just got to say screw it and go for it. Like I had no intention of all this shit happening. I go to one practice. Next thing I know, I'm in the gym with killers. Fast forward, now I'm at ATT. So if you have the feeling about something or you really believe that you can do something, man, you got to go for it. You only live once, as corny as that sounds. So you got to make the most of every opportunity you get.
I love it. And I'm excited to see those opportunities that you make. Folks watching at home, CFFC is going to have shows coming up all throughout the year, and Riley is under contract. So stay tuned. UFC Fight Pass for that the second fight coming soon. It's going to be exciting, and it's just the beginning. Riley, it's been a pleasure having you on. The floor is yours if you want to say any thank yous, any shout outs, or any thoughts that you have on your mind.
Always shout out the coaches, teammates. You guys are great. My team back home as well, like my old teammates. You guys are great as well. And nah, man, like I'm very excited. I'm trying to get on October and December if I can stay healthy. And if I don't know if they have a card in October, I'm hoping they are. But let's get 2 more this year. Make sure you're
That'd
there.
be awesome. That would be awesome. And I can't wait to watch it. Riley, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on today. Everybody check him out. We're out of here.
I'll see you, brother.